Hello everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our chapter Connectors. Now this is part number 14 that we are going to discuss in this session. So let's have a look what we are going to discuss in this session. Well, in this lecture, we will cover the following topics. And what are the topics? Let us see. First of all, we'll define the purpose denoting prepositions. Now in our last session, we discussed connectors which connectors which denote purpose, and in that session we discussed a few connectors that few conjunctions or purpose denoting conjunctions. In this session we are going to begin with purpose denoting prepositions, okay, and we'll discuss types of prepositions denoting purpose, and after that we'll discuss two prepositions, that is, one is in order to and another one is so as to, and both of these are actually the types of prepositions denoting purpose. Now let us begin with this session. First of all, we'll define the purpose denoting preposition. Okay. Purpose denoting prepositions in English are used to indicate the reason or purpose for which something is done or for which something exists. Okay. It means something has been done for what? For what is the purpose or which purpose it is serving. We discuss or we connect that particular purpose with this preposition. These prepositions typically introduce a phrase that explains the intention behind an action or situation. These prepositions are essential in conveying the intention behind actions and statements, helping to clarify the motives or goals in communication. Okay. Now these are the types of prepositions denoting purpose. First we have in order to, and another one is so as to. So first we'll discuss in order to connector. Now, meaning of in order to. In order to is a phrase used as a purpose denoting connector in English. It is utilized to explicitly indicate the reason or objective behind an action. Now, if we talk about purpose denoting connector, obviously anything that connects two clauses in which in the first clause we have shown the action, whereas in the another clause we have shown the purpose behind it. When we used conjunction, these two things, main clause and the purpose clause, they were joined with the help of conjunction. But in preposition, what happens? There are not two clauses which are joined together. There is only one sentence in which a phrase is joined with another phrase with the help of a preposition. Okay, it means here we'll use these connectors within the sentence, not by joining two sentences together. Now, this phrase introduces a clause that explains the purpose or the action mentioned in the preceding clause. It helps to make clear intention or goal that motivates the action. Uses of in order to, expressing purpose or intention. It clearly states the reason or objective behind an action. For example, she saves money in order to buy a house. Now, what was her purpose to save money? In order to buy a car. Now, if I write in order that, I will write in order that she could buy a car. So that will be a conjunction because I'm writing the entire sentence over there containing subject plus verb. That is, she could buy. But here, I simply write the verb after this to, which should be in first form, and then the sentence will be completed. It means this is not joining two sentences together, whereas this is only one sentence in which we have used this to and we have linked the verb or this phrase by a house. This is the phrase, not the entire sentence or the clause. So I'm joining the clause with a phrase. Okay, and that is a preposition which denotes this purpose or the motivation, which is showing this motivation. This is known as preposition denoting purpose. Now, the second use is introducing result clauses. It leads into clauses that describe the intended outcome of the main action. They arrived early in order to secure good seats. Now, if I say they arrived early in order that they can secure, they could secure seats. Okay, they could secure seats. Now, if you see this sentence, you can see the difference in both of these sentences. What is the difference? If you see this one, after to we have only verb, whereas after this, in order that, we have they could secure seats. It means here we have subject plus verb structure. So this in order that is a conjunction, whereas this is a preposition. This in order to is a preposition, whereas in order that is the conjunction, because after in order that we have followed we have used or we have written the entire sentence with subject plus verb plus object, but in the above sentence we have only written the verb after in order to preposition. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the connector being a conjunction or a preposition. Now the third one is formal or academic writing, often used in more formal or academic contexts to articulate the rationale behind actions or decisions. For example, the study was conducted in order to assess the impact of the new policy. Okay, so why was this study conducted? Just to assess the impact of the new policy. Okay, so in order to in order to assess, so this is verb, the impact of the new policy. Emphasizing deliberateness of action. Deliberateness means something has been done purposely or with intention. It highlights that an action is done with a specific purpose. It means it has been done purposely, in mind, not by chance. So it is not a random action. Example, he took the course in order to improve his job prospects. So what was his motive behind taking the course? Just for he wanted to improve his job prospects. So it was done intentionally. It was not random. Okay, so it shows that the action has not been done randomly. Clarifying cause and effect relationships. It helps in making clear the cause and effect relationship in a sentence. The city planted more trees in order that in order to improve air quality. So here we only have verb, not the subject verb agreement structure. Okay, here the city planted more trees. What was the purpose behind this? In order to improve air quality. So their purpose was to improve the air quality of the city. Now, elaborating often on reasons. When a simple explanation is insufficient in order to provide more elaborate reason for an action, the meeting was rescheduled in order to accommodate more participants. Okay, so this was the reason behind rescheduling the meeting. Structure of in order to. The structure of a sentence using in order to as a purpose denoting character typically follows this pattern. First of all, we'll have the main clause, then in order to, and then the purpose clause. Okay, the main clause, this is the part of the sentence that contains the action or situation. In order to, this phrase is used as a connector that introduces the purpose clause. It bridges the main clause and the purpose clause, indicating the reason behind the action or situation. Now, what is the purpose clause? This clause explains the purpose or intention behind the action mentioned in the main clause. The purpose clause often contains a verb that describes what the subject intends to achieve or accomplish. Okay, it means in the purpose clause, some reason has been shown for what the action that has happened in the main clause or that has mentioned in the main clause has occurred or has happened. Okay, so it shows the purpose behind that particular action that has been mentioned in the main clause. For example, she works overtime in order to save more money. So what is her motive behind working overtime? Just to save more money. So main clause, what will be the main clause? She works overtime, in which she is performing an action, and the purpose behind this is shown in the purpose clause, that is save more money is the purpose clause. Okay, now let us have some examples of in order to. Expressing purpose or intention. So they express purpose or intention. She studies diligently. Diligently means carefully and with heart, in order to pass her final exams. I wake up early in order to have enough time for a morning jog. Okay, so I wake up early. What is the purpose behind this? So that I can go on a morning jog. Now, introducing result clauses. We left the house before dawn in order to catch the first train. He saved money for years in order to buy his own house. So, what was the purpose of his saving money for years? Just because he wanted to buy his own car. So this was his motive. Okay. Formal and academic writing. The research was conducted in order to understand the effects of the climate change. So, what was the reason behind conducting the research? Just because they wanted to understand the effects of climate change. Okay, so whenever, if suppose in our life as well, we do many actions, we perform many actions, and there is a reason behind it. Maybe possible we do some actions which are for long term, but they serve the motive for the long term as well. For example, a person, he studies till a particular age in his life. For what? Just to get a good job, or to become successful. So he has been studying for many years. Okay, for what? Just because he wanted to achieve success in his life. Now, the company revised its policy in order to enhance workplace safety. So, what was the reason behind companies revising its policy? That is because they wanted to enhance their work safety. Emphasizing deliberateness of action, it means they show the deliberateness, it means the purpose or the intention, or whichever action has been done, it is done intentionally or purposely, it is not a random action. He learned Spanish. So learning Spanish was not random in his life. It means it is no, actually the desire, or the there is some purpose behind it. So he has done it intentionally or purposely. It is not random at all. Okay, so he learned Spanish in order to communicate better while traveling in South America. She volunteered in various organizations in order to gain more practical experience. Clarifying cause effect relationships. The city increased public transportation options in order to reduce traffic congestion. So this is the motive behind increasing public transportation. What is the motive? To reduce traffic congestion. The teacher simplified the lesson in order to make it more understandable for younger students. Okay. Elaborating on reasons, the meeting time was changed in order to accommodate participants from different time zones. Okay. The doctor advised regular exercise in order to improve overall health. Now we'll discuss another connector, that is so as to. So as to is a purpose denoting connector used in English to express the intention or reason behind an action. So as to is also same as or similar to what we have already learned, that is in order to. Though it in order to is more used in formal context, whereas so as to is used widely, in fact, in informal speech as well. Okay. Similar to in order to, it introduces a clause that explains the purpose or objective of the action mentioned in the main part of the sentence. The connector is useful for clarifying why something is done, helping to outline the goal or desired outcome of an action. Okay. Now let us discuss uses of so as to. First of all, it expresses intention or purpose. Simple. It indicates the reason or goal behind an action. She studies regularly so as to excel in her exams. Okay. So what is her purpose behind studying regularly? Just because she wanted to excel in her exams. It means she wanted to be a topper, or she wanted to do some good in her exams. Formal writing, often found in more formal or academic text, it is used to articulate the rationale behind actions or decisions. The survey was conducted so as to gather comprehensive data on consumer preferences. Similar to in order to, it functions similarly to in order to, but can sometimes be preferred for stylistic reasons or to avoid repetition. He saved money so as to buy a new car. Emphasizing deliberateness, it highlights that an action is taken with a specific purpose in mind. It is not done randomly. For example, the organization streamlined its process so as to improve efficiency. So what was the purpose? So that they can improve their efficiency. So this action has been done, you can say intentionally, it is not random. Clarifying goals and objectives, when a clear explanation of objectives is required so as to effectively convey this. For example, the training was designed so as to enhance the skills of the employees. Introducing result clauses, it leads into clauses that specify the intended result of the main action. For example, they arrived early so as to secure good seats at the event. Structure of so as to, first of all, we'll have the main clause, after that so as to or the purpose clause. Main clause, this part of the sentence describes primary action or situation. So as to, this phrase is used as the connector introducing the purpose clause. It serves as a bridge between the main clause and the purpose clause, okay, indicating the reason or intention behind the action or situation. Purpose clause, this clause explains the purpose or intention behind the action mentioned in the main clause. It means whatever performance has been made in the main clause or mentioned in the main clause, the motive behind it is shown in the purpose clause. Usually it contains a verb that describes in the in the purpose clause or in the purpose phrase. Actually, this is the purpose phrase. We only write the verb, okay, not the subject verb structure, okay, behind the action mentioned in the clause. Usually it contains a verb that describes what the subject intends to achieve or accomplish. For example, she practices daily so as to improve her skills. Here main clause is she practices daily or every day. Purpose clause, improve her skills. Rules associated with so as to, expressing clear purpose. So as to should be used to clearly indicate the intention or reason behind an action. The purpose introducer should be directly related to the action in the main clause. Formal tone, this connector is more commonly used in formal writing. It can make a sentence sound more sophisticated or academic. Avoiding overuse, while useful, so as to should be used judiciously to avoid making the text overly complex or cumbersome, especially in informal contexts. Sentence structure, ensure that the sentence has two clear parts, the main clause, that is the action, and the purpose clause, that is the reason or goal, connected by so as to, that is it. Okay, any other thing, if it is in the sentence, that should be ignored. No subjective mood. Unlike some purpose connectors, the clause following so as to does not typically use subjunctive mood. It means there is nothing which has been mentioned before that which is to be used about that. Punctuation, generally no special punctuation is needed with so as to, unless the structure, sentence structure or stylistic choice dictates otherwise. Okay, it means if it is the opinion or the suggestion or the requirement of the question, it can be done. Alternatives, be aware of alternative connectors like to, in order to, or so that, which can sometimes be used interchangeably with so as to, depending on the context and desired formality. So as to can be substituted with various other prepositions. Now here we have some examples of so as to. First is expressing clear purpose. He arrived early so as to get a good seat. Formal tone, the committee revised its procedures so as to ensure greater transparency. Avoiding overuse, she studied the material thoroughly, okay? Thoroughly means in detail, so as to understand the complex concepts. Sentence structure, the company implemented new technologies so as to improve efficiency. Okay, so the company implemented new technologies for what was the reason? Because they wanted to improve the efficiency. So we have used so as to over here. No subjunctive mood, they scheduled the meeting at noon so as to accommodate all time zones. Okay, punctuation, we designed the survey so as to capture a wide range of responses. Okay, alternatives, he reduced the price of the product so as to attract more customers. Alternative, he reduced the price of the product to attract more customers. So these two sentences can be used interchangeably. So these were some connectors that we have discussed in this session. I hope you have understood the meaning and the purpose of using both these connectors in our sentence, and also now you must have an idea that how to use these connectors in our sentences. Now you can use these connectors in your speech as well. Okay, so I hope you find this session beneficial to you all. Now let us finish this topic here only, and we'll continue with some more connectors in our future sessions of connectors. So till then, thanks to you.